Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Man's Gamer back here with another video. Today we have What If Naruto Was a Prodigy Part 6. Here we go. 4 years later, graduation day at the academy. Naruto stood in front of a mirror in his room, combing his straight red hair. He had cut it short, leaving two long bangs framing his face, but still wore a ponytail which cut off just below his neck. Finally, it's the day I become a Guinea. Are you proud of me, Kurama?
You bad kid. I can't believe you once that week. Sniffling crybaby. You're my best. Long-term jailer I used to know.
Kurama joked, and Naruto cried into tears at his large, furious friend and said, "Come on, Kurama. I wasn't that bad, was I? I mean, I didn't cry that much, did I?" He asked.
Like a faucet. Look at you now, kid. You're strong, kind, caring, quite handsome. But don't let the compliments get to your head. And independent. Now there's enough of bothering me. You have a graduation days. Meanwhile, I gotta catch up on my week-long nap. You kept intruding on.
Kurama said, and sent Naruto out of his mindscape and back into reality, where he stood in front of his mirror. Naruto smiled at his reflection and reached to grab his kunai pouch. Naruto would have grabbed his bow and staff, but no longer had a need to carry around his weapons out in the open. During the years, Misa and Kurama had taught Naruto the simple storage sealing technique. So he sealed arrows of his bow onto the grip so he could easily summon an arrow that would appear ready to be drawn and back and shot. Meanwhile, the bow was sealed in a tattoo on an arrow on his left wrist so that it will be always on his person. The same for his staff. Instead of he had a written item sealed in a tattoo that was just line wrapped around his right wrist like a bracelet. Naruto was leaving his room and was about to head downstairs when he saw Selmy standing at the bottom staring at him. Asami to the left of Yuji. Her long, clearly blonde hair was flowing down her back and cut off at her shoulder blades. She wore a yellow long sleeve shirt with a mesh undershirt over her shirt. She had on a white vest with a namikaze crest etched across the back in black. She had sweatpants with bindings around her left thigh, the blue shinobi sandals. Honestly, it's like she wanted to be targeted out in the world. What sort of Baka wears bright flashy colored clothes and aims to be a ninja, he thought. Beside her, Yuji was also glaring at their brother. He still avoided them and their parents constantly to the point that they could only see him at the academy, only catch a glimpse of the red-haired boy at night. Yuji still kept his haircut the same as his father's, like the style, and feeling proud he looked like his father. He wore a navy blue shirt sleeve and a namikaze crest on each sleeve etched in white. It was a tonto strapped to his back with a scabbard brown strap slung across his right shoulder, going across his chest, and disappearing reaching around his wrist. He wore tan shorts with his kunai pouch situated on his right hip, and he had gray leg warmers and black shinobi boots. Finally, to the left of Yuji was Namiko, who looked hurt at her brother avoiding the family like a plague, but still kept smiling sadly at him, hoping one day he would accept them for who they are. She had cut her red hair short and tied it in a tidy bun with a pin peeking out through her bun on both sleeves. The two bangs framed her face. She wore a crimson red sleeve shirt with crimson red wrist warmers on both arms. She wore a black scarf that wrapped around her stomach and was tied off her back. She wore a navy blue skirt that cut off her knees with black leggings under it. Her kunai pouch was attached to the hem of her skirt. Finishing her outfit, she wore blue sandals, shinobi sandals. Now to decide, what do you all want? He asked, already knowing the answer. We want you to stop your self-isolation and talk to Tosan and Kasan. Asami said, you should continue. We also like to tell you to tell us who's teaching you, and you still haven't told. He yelled. Naruto looked at Namiko, waiting for whatever she had to say. Good morning, Naruto. Ni. Good luck on the exams, she said. Naruto smiled at his sister, who was the only one in 4 years who didn't hound him for answers, as he distanced himself from them more and more. He actually left a note apologizing for how they reacted and asked him to forgive her for not being a good sister over the years. Good morning to you, Naruto. As for you too, no and no. Bo, if you excuse me, I have exams to pass. Naruto said and shushes out of the house, leaving the cursor coming Yuji, who both got nailed in the head by firm parents, followed by Watch Your Mouth from Kushina, who had cooking breakfast in the kitchen. Namiko smiled as Naruto actually showed her a smile, and he gives to his friends and people he trusts. Now, I'm glad I'm finally showing you that I care. I just hope it's something in each other usually wants to try to bring our family together. Namaka thought before walking to the kitchen with her brother and sister, following hold the spot on their heads where Katrina and her mother, the aim, had thrown the pans to the head with Naruto. Naruto walked through the streets of Konoha, enjoying the fresh air and lively atmosphere of the village. He waved to the many villagers who had just started their day cleaning out their pouches, watering plants, yelling at kids who cursed, and the shinobi of the village heading home for a long night of patrol and returning from a mission. He made his way to the Hyuga compound, which was near the Namikaze compound, and waited for Fumiko. The Hyuga girl, Ina, and Naruto, I bet, had become best friends. Often seen training together, hanging out, or helping one another with schoolwork. The three had become inseparable. But it didn't mean Naruto didn't hang out with Shikamaru or Choji. In fact, Naruto would often drag the lazy Naruto and nicely ask Choji to bring them out to hang out with Fumiko Ina. It was an odd group, but Naruto and Shikamaru lacked nature. The latter had more extreme case, while the former was an acceptable excuse. Ino and Fumika were balls of energy, while with Fumika having more pride in herself, but still fun to be around. While Ina is ecstatic, smart, and bright, the two held the group together like glue. Choji just happened to be around munching on his chips and having fun, though calling him the forbidden word was a big no-no. The gate opened and a tuning guard that belonged to the Hyuga nodded his head to Naruto, who smiled and returned the gesture in respect to the man. From within the compound stepped out Fumiko and Hinata. Both the girls looked the same when they first started academy together. Naruto, you lower dog. Look at you waiting here patiently for little old me. I feel so special, Fumiko said cheerily and went up to hug her best friend. Fumiko, you know I'm just lazy and bored. Plus, the Hyuga compound isn't far from my crazy family house. He jokingly responded and returned the hug, breaking away and smiled to Hinata. Good morning, Hinata, he said. The blue frowned at the formal addition to her name, but didn't say anything. Good morning, Naruto. Do you want to walk to school together? She asked, stuttering. Sure, I don't mind if you want to tag along, as long as it's okay with Fumiko, he said. He knew about the situation between the two branches of the Hyuga, and the Fumiko had a great distrust of the main branch, which Hinata is the main road. I don't mind Hinata is welcome to tag along with us if she would like, Fumiko said with a smile before turning around. Now then, let's pick up Ina. I had a bone to pick with her. She stole my stick of the dongo last week and hasn't paid me back yet, she said with her face shaking around her head with determination in her eyes that she was going to get the money back this morning. Now the latter his friend entered and walked beside her with his hands behind his head. Another walked behind the two and felt the atmosphere between the two was warm and inviting, unlike a relationship with her father and the main branch of Hugo. The trio arrived through the Villians district of Konoha and made their way to the housing development. Arriving at the large apartment, the three chatted amongst each other as they waited for Ina to finish getting ready and join them. Announcer, who do you think will pass the getting exams for me? Asked. Well, hopefully it won't be the fangirls, he shuddered, and thought of many fangirls in their class that kept trying to get his attention by any means necessary. I mean, how could so many girls fight for the attention of a guy? If you ask me, I want to find somebody who loved you for your personality and how they held themselves in life, not going out to someone because they're strong and good looking, he said. Fumiko brought up her hand to her mouth. My mind now was going giving that relationship advice, and I thought I heard everything life had to offer. She teased Carter on to bullet slightly. Quiet you. Anyway, out of everyone in our class, I say all the clean areas, even my chosen ceiling will pass the exam. Civilians of the class have no chance of making it in the Shinobi. He said bluntly, with both girls nodded their heads in agreement. Suddenly, the door to Eno's burst open and stepped out Eno, who closed the door and jumped at her two best friends, bringing them into a group hug. Even not on sound like awkward standing there. Good morning, you guys. Are you two ready for exam? Eno asked, not breaking the hug course out, but more importantly, people started pushing Naruto out of the hug and grabbed Eno by her collar, which gets straight to the point. Where when you tell me where my money is from just stealing my dongle last week? Fumiko said with a sweet smile that Eno paled under. Right here, just lay me down. I grab it for you, he said, pointing to her pocket. We weren't releasing the way to forget to get money. Eno went to get the money and stuck out, turning from Fumiko in the direction of the cabin. I'll give you the money later, I promise you, shouted. She ran for her dear life. Fumiko held her sweet smile, but Naruto could see the veins that signaled the activation of the gun for in her eyes. Naruto, Hinata, I'll see you guys at the academy. I have a rat to catch real quick. He said, coming but taking off Ina. Naruto and Naruto looked at each other before saying, come on, let's go make sure Fumiko doesn't kill Ina, Naruto said, and Hinata nodded before both ran off the two girls. I don't care what you girls do, I'm going to go look at the clouds, Naruto said, and started walking to his seat back at the class to stare at the window. Naruto sent to walk to a seat at the back of the middle of the class and laughed her ninja tools she had brought for the exam and started to clean them. Around 10 minutes later, the classmates started to make their way into the class. Now, this was Naruto's most hated part of the day, as the fan started to make their way in, similar to 10 minutes talks were shared by Sasuke and Yuji, who both entered the class being followed by a large group of girls. On the opposite spectrum, Sarah and Hatsami were being handled by as well by fanboys. I'm glad that my academy days will be over after today because I'm really regretting showing off as much as I have in the years. These fangirls will forever haunt my dreams. I also thought about fitting off as a vegan girl trying to sit in the same seat as him. Luckily, he had an error and Fumiko who watered out the girls most of the time, causing many of them to glare at the two girls. Soon, however, he came over the two worst girls, Screeching Banshee and her rival friend Haruna Sakura and Yuma. The girls had become inseparable in years. Sakura had developed an obsession with Uchiha at this point she practically led his fan club, while Ino had a crush on Yuji and led his fan club. The two boys, like Naruto, hated the constant annoyance in their days at the academy, but Yuji somewhat enjoyed the attention by feeding his ego. Sasuke Kun is the best and he would pass his name with ease. Sakura, yeah, wow, elbowing her blonde friend. Please, Yuji Kun is easily the best. He would pass the exam with purpose in a year. Naruto finally got annoyed at the pair. Inside causing trouble. He got up and walked to the pair. Hey girls, I heard you Sasuke and Yuji are planning on asking you both out if you attention to both of them all day long. If you ask me, they're pretty desperate to date you. Naruto asking two girls got stars in eyes. Naruto watched two girls shouted and grabbed a hold of each boy arms and hands and close. Sasuke and Yuji looked like they wanted to both and sent their glances to Naruto who could only laugh. He was joined by Sakura, Fumiko, and Ino who all laughed at the girls who started to choke the two boys in a hug around their necks. After sitting back in his seat, Ruka finally walked in and prepared his lecture of the day before giving the students their exam. Good morning, class. Before we start, I just want to say how proud I am of each and every one of you for making it in this far in this life. The future ahead will be challenging for all. Now then, before I give you your exams to be a shinobi, would anyone like to exit out of the exam? He asked, and a couple of civilian students raised their hand and were given permission to go home. Once everyone that wanted to try to get in the exam remained, we would get a state place and began to pass them out to students. Naruto would last to receive the test, and when Uku said to flip the test over and begin, he would look down at it and smirk. It was the easiest test ever. You will be an idiot to pass, though. He began to speak the questions. It took him 5 minutes to answer each question before he flipped it over and laid it back on the bed. 30 minutes later, Ruka told the students inside. Once everyone was outside, Mizuki's assistants led them to the small training grounds where they had sparred the first day. Arriving Naruto noted that the parents were invited to watch the kids' participation in whatever event they were to demonstrate. Okay, everyone. First, the test you each will be given 10 kunai and 10 shuriken. Go to the target center and each lodge into the target. Mizuki informed and handed each student a kunai and 10 set of each ninja tool. The scores went as follows. Most of the remaining civilians scored 4 out of 10 on each test, failing the Shikamaru Choji and Kiba scored 5 out of 10 on each target, barely passing the exam. Fumiko, Namiko, Shini, and Sakura received score 6 out of 10. Ino, Ina, and Hinata 7 out of 10. Sakura, Yuji, Asami 8 out of 10. Sasuke went up next and landed 9 out of 10. Welcome back to the lane. Go to Naruto. Beat that dope, he said. Young, whatever you say, Uchiha. He said and walked up to the line with his kunai. Naruto placed 5 fingers in each loop and X. He brought his hand across the chest. He flicked his wrist and sent all 10 toward the target. Everyone, including the parents, had their mouth gaping, but Naruto wasn't done showing up. He flexed his wrist, and a blow appeared in his left hand. And in his right hand, he had a shuriken launched each star at the center of the target, hitting dead center, creating a solid circle within a small circle, the small center. Naruto brought his bow and summoned one of his arrows out of the seal. He pulled the screen back and launched the bow, hitting the newly created center of the target. Then, once the arrow landed, Naruto yawned again, sealed his bow away once more in the seal on his lever. Everyone watching the test could believe their eyes, including Fumiko and Ina, that they had never seen Naruto using a bow. They hung out almost every day. Jojo dropped his bag of chips in his pride while Shikamaru said, "Troublesome redheads." Naruto walked back to his spot on line and looked at Sasuke. "How is it that I do better than the Uchiha?" Naruto asked with his hands behind back. Now the Uchiha see the rage, but decided to keep quiet. Sakura heard what Naruto said and laughed before the Sasuke earlier gloating. That was something Naruto Baka, but nowhere near the greatest prodigy Uchiha clan, and Sasuke and my own brother. You couldn't hold a candle to Sasuke, Sakura said with her hands on her hips, full of confidence. Now the pieces in the guitar. looked at Sora. Did you say something? He asked, causing another Uchiha to see them enraged. Okay, everyone, we have a short break in the exam as we grade the current scores exam. Please go and have lunch with, and me and Imbruka will come get you when the next part of the exam is ready. Misuki said, and the group of students head towards the center of the cafe to eat lunch. Well, guys, that was the end of this video. I hope you like it. Like and subscribe, comment, and share. Turn on your post notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.